India's market news headquarters. Cutting-edge analysis. Influential insights. Market-moving intelligence. Broadcasting live from the CNBC-TV18 Motilal Oswal studios in Mumbai.
Well, we are world champions, and it's a fantastic feeling. India T20 World Cup winners, and what a way to begin this new week, and what a way to begin this July as well. Morning, guys. I don't think I was wondering what to say. I don't think I can really add anything to what has already been said out there, but it's just a sort of feeling of being top.
Emotions are running high, right? I mean, what a game! Everything. It was like a script.
Yeah.
It was like a movie script, right? Everything. From Surya Kumar Yadav's catch to Bumrah's over to just fighting till the end, to the entire team spirit. I mean, I think there was not a better match that I've watched in a very, very long time. So big celebrations continue.
Well, totally pumped up, Sonia as well as Prashant. What a game. Getting into the last 5 overs, you thought this is going to be difficult for us. But the boys came back, put their head down. The bowlers bowled very, very well. And I'll tell you what, I was traveling. I was in Kenya. I was at Mombasa airport. And my flight was delayed by 1 hour. I was thrilled because I got to see the final part of the game. If it wasn't for that, I would miss the finals. And on that small screen out there, me and my kids and my wife were screaming, and everyone at the airport's wondering what's wrong with these guys because no one's watching cricket out there. But what a game! What a game!
It was hearts in our mouths, right? With 30, I mean, we needed 30 out of 30. South Africans needed 30 out of 30, and it looked like it was absolutely doable. And then, of course, that wicket which Hardik Patel took. And
actually, at the start of the game, once the wicket started falling, it was really a hard task, right? I mean, a tall ask to win that game.
We lost a couple of wickets quickly,
but the big player came out then, played that innings. Virat Kohli, give and take everything. He stood up on the day that was counted. A little slower innings, but that counted at the end of the day. And our bowlers,
and that
spectacular.
Catch. What about that catch?
What a catch. Couple they did it in 1983. We weren't born at that point of time, but what a catch by Surya Kumar Yadav, plucking it out of nowhere.
Also Bumrah, guys, right? I mean, everyone, there's a lot of accolades that go to the batsmen generally, right? Over the years, but finally, I mean, one of the best in the world, Bumrah, always showing up, always performing, so consistent. I mean, look at that. Just that image is enough, right, for a billion people.
No, I think absolutely. And, we'll sort of continue talking about this one. And it's a great, fantastic feeling to begin the session. We were sort of obviously basking in the glory which the team has got to us, but why not? All right, well, let's put our head down here and talk about the markets now, right? Because we've got a new week which is kicking off, a new month which is kicking off, and of course, we are starting into the second half of this particular calendar year as well. We put the first half behind and we get into the next half. And it's a great way to get into the second half because, and the returns will come up on your screen, it's been a fantastic July. June, beg your pardon. 7% of the Nifty bank, 6.5% of the Nifty. That's about, 1,500 points on the Nifty and about, 3,300 points for the Nifty bank. So this is as sort of, strong gains that you can get for any particular month, and June has given us that. So that's essentially the backdrop. Very sharp moves. Sectorally as well, if you just look at June, the top performing sectors are up on your screen. It's been real estate with a 10.5% gain, private banks with a 8.5% gains. I mean, so June basically was the month when people started to talk about private banks starting to participate. And of course, IT services, which was up almost about 7.8%. First off the block in terms of earnings. And I think with expectations running high that maybe Q1 will be a little better, there is positioning which is already built in many stocks. Now, positioning essentially is what we've been highlighting for the last couple of days as well. And these are the two numbers which tell you the swing from extreme to extreme. I remember around the time when we got, extremely negative positioning, and then, of course, the election result and the market came out of it. we were discussing how sometimes off of very, very sort of extreme levels in the future index futures, you sometimes go to the other extreme, and it has happened. If you can go back to that last graphic, from 3.5 lakh net short contracts in index futures, as of Friday's close, we're at 3.5 lakh net longs in index futures. And so, you are at an extreme, and once again, the point is, you don't have really that many shorts in the system, which essentially cover when there is a fall. So that comfort is not there, and it's a one-sided consensus long sort of going up kind of a market right now. And that's the reason why Friday, for example, we got a bit of a shakeout, and the market actually did not go here or there very much, because you're coming out of sort of markets which I just described. So which leaves us where in terms of sort of levels, etc. Global stuff, there's not very much. Yields are up 10 basis points, so we can talk about that with our guests later on. But supports come in at 28,827, which is the 40-hourly exponential moving average. And then, if that breaks, the next support is the 61.8% retracement of the full rise, which is 23,664. Now, I'm not suggesting we get there, but that is only provided we hold. In case there is a bit of a sideways action which creeps up, we get to the 40-hourly exponential moving average. On the upside, the Nifty needs to take out 24,174. And that's not very far away from where we left off. Bank Nifty is closed around the 40-hourly average for itself, which is 52,313. We left off at 52,342. Here, the supports for the Nifty Bank are 51,918. That's a 61.8% retracement of the recent rise. And in the way up, the Nifty Bank needs to cross the recent high, which is 53,180. I would say this, and I said this on Friday morning as well. If you're long, trail with stops, the hourly stops that we mentioned, but fresh trades, the risk reward is against you. And I think it's perhaps better, prudent, to stay on the sidelines a little bit. We'll get into the earnings season in right earnest in a week from now, when we get the numbers from the IT services companies. And in the second half, we get the union budget, which perhaps for the first time we'll hear from the government what they want to do for the next 5 years. Sonia.
Absolutely. It's a really, really important month, right, that we're heading into. We have so many cues to look forward to. By the way, just look at that. You can't take your eyes away from all the cricketing action, right? So we'll keep sort of basking in that glory. But for now, plenty of things to look forward to as we kickstart a brand new month. So we have auto sales for the month of June that happens today. Now, don't expect any fireworks over there. It's expected to be a muted auto sales for the month of June, largely because there was an extreme heat wave in North India. And because of that, retail footfalls were very low across the board. So maybe just two-wheelers could see double-digit growth, but rest of the pockets will see absolutely flat growth this time. Then you have Q1 FY25 earnings with kickstarts as well. And in that context, because the market has rallied so much, the Nifty is up 7,000 points from the 4th of June lows. The Q1 earnings assume that much more important, because at the end of the day, a bull market is based on, the fundamentals and earnings. So we'll keep track on that. The union budget and the progress on the monsoon are two more things that I'm going to be watching out for very, very closely. But as I said, the Nifty has had a very strong run. It's up 7,000 points from the June 4th lows. The Nifty Bank is up for 7 straight weeks. And the good part is large caps continue to assume leadership. So there was a lot of delivery-based buying in large caps like Reliance Industries in the last 1 week. In fact, Reliance on Friday hit that 21 lakh crore market cap as well. So we're going to keep tracking those stocks. And there was large buying by domestic institutions on Friday too. So DI has bought 6,658 crores in the cash markets. Global markets have not seen too much, just minor red tick over there. But I think the local cues, all that I just lined out for you is something that the street will watch out for very closely.
Well, that's right. In Friday's trading session, we saw a bit of a pullback, and a couple of indicators actually did reach that upper end. Whether you look at the RSI on the Nifty, that went to around 70 odd. Whether you're looking at the PCR, that went to around 1.5. And that's why, we did see a bit of a pullback both on the Nifty and the Nifty Bank from the high point of the day. How was positioning though? The FI as well as the clients, both of them are net long on stock futures. So it could be a stock-specific market from here on, because on stock futures, they're maintaining their long bias. And we'll get to that in further detail in a bit. Though this market is missing the FI net short positions, because that's the one that sees a bit of a short covering bounce when they get the direction wrong. And that's what pushes us higher. What did the FIs do on Friday, though? They added long positions, close to around 30,000 contracts odd. The long positioning has moved to around 83% odd. And the swing factor, that you're talking about, The FI swing factor has been from a negative, from a net short position of 3.5 lakh contracts, it's gone to a net long position of 3.5 lakh contracts. That's the highest I've seen in a very, very long, in the last few years actually. Even adjusted for the change in the contract size, still at around 3.5 lakh contracts, that's very, very high. And take a look at the clients. They are the ones that have been getting right. Now they have gone from net long to net short, and now they have closer around 2.5 lakh contracts on the short side. So let's see how this goes. But for the time being, it's safe to assume that the markets are missing those shorts in the system from the FIs. On the stock futures, though, as I was saying earlier, the FIs, they maintain the long bias out there. So 7 lakh contracts on the long side. Clients as well, closer on 20 lakh, 19 and 18.5 lakh contracts on. Two strikes are very, very active, and they have highest amount of open interest, relatively high open interest, 24,000 put, 24,500 calls. So both of them, they give us a bit of a sense in terms of market positioning. So the levels I'm looking at in the near term, on the downside, going by the retracement, going by the options data as well, 23,800 becomes important on the downside. That's for today's session. And on the upside, Friday's high will become important. On the Nifty bank as well, went to around 53,000 or couldn't sustain at those levels. So that becomes a bit of a resistance zone in the near term. The stock that I'm tracking is Bata. Well, it did quite well in Friday's trading session. It's been a rank underperformer. It's still lower if you compare to what it's done in the last 1 year. But you just look at that screen, the 20 and the 200 DMA, both of them got conquered in Friday's trading session. And the delivery-based buying was more than 12 lakh shares. That's the highest we have seen in more than a year. So very, very high delivery-based buying is what we're seeing. And also there was a bit of a short covering bounce that did take place. So put all these three factors together, relative underperformer, crossing some technical levels, seeing delivery-based buying and short covering. Let's see whether or not Bata is set to give up the relative underperformance.
Okay, well, it's a record-winning streak for the markets, right? The Nifty closed above the 24,000 mark. Lots of things to watch out for. There is a Fed speech as well that the market will look forward to very closely. So all eyes on that. And the kind of FPI and FI and DII momentum that we've seen in the markets is something that will be tracked closely. But on the equity